Hello, it's me and another unboxing. So, I couldn't find my usual knife. It's a smaller box, kind of lightweight here. Now this one is an interesting one. It's, I think, the first one sold. Oh, aha! Okay, so you can see a lot of stuffing for a small puzzle, but whatever could this be? So this is something that's not exactly, it's new, first of its kind, but hopefully first of its kind that we're going to see a lot more of. Now, I am, as you know, a collector, but I'm not a collector of vintage puzzles. I really don't care. I only collect a vintage puzzle if it's the only one of the particular kind that exists. Then I just, you know, grin and bear it and decide to collect it, but that's not my point. My point is structure and function and not rarity. I only buy the rare ones if it's the only way to get that particular kind of a puzzle. So what do I have here? Well, I actually have a puzzle like this, really well done. So as you can see, this is a Dogic. Now Dogics usually get into a very large bidding wars because they're rare, they're not really made anymore, and so they cost a lot of money. And I'm not really in favor of that. However, I did get caught up in one just because I wanted to own a Dogic. Well, now in comes Michael's son, who is providing the ability to own a puzzle like this without getting involved in a bidding war. And his question was, well, should I do this? Am I going to decrease the market for Dogics that are rare? And my answer was no, you're not, because there are those who, unlike me, will collect vintage puzzles because they want vintage puzzles. They'll pay a lot of money for a Rubik's Cube that happened to be made way back in the 1970s, or 1980s rather. I don't really have that kind of an interest. To me, that doesn't hold much meaning, but there always will be those that have that kind of an interest. So there's going to be a market for that. But in addition, now we can all own a Dogic for much less money, for much less of a cost. So the movement of this is great. Sticker it expertly. It's got a nice glossy look to it. It's kind of like a Mega Minx solve, and I would say that the movement is better than the old mass-produced vintage puzzles. A little stiff on the corners here. I'm going to see if I can maybe lubricate that a little bit. But there you have it. So this is good news for collectors like me who don't really care about vintage puzzles, just care about having the puzzle to solve and to have as part of your collection, because that's all that really matters to me. So here's an example of one of those vintage puzzles, the Dogic over here. You can see the sticker pattern is a little different. Now I could, of course, do a different sticker pattern should I want to, if I wanted to be like this. I actually like the sticker pattern better. I like the symmetry of it. This looks interesting, but it looks very kind of cluttered regarding that. I like a puzzle that looks like it's got a lot of different sides to it. Comparing the turning quality, this is okay. This is okay over here too. So actually not bad. This one similarly is good. A little on the rigid side, but again I think that just takes some breaking in. Of course this is a little rigid here too. This is probably more of a challenging solve experience in some ways, just because of the way the stickers are. This one maybe not so much, although the tips here, you don't have equivalency of rotation here, you do. So you have equivalency of rotation here, but that's okay because when I turn this, it scrambles. Bring this all the way around here. When I turn this, it doesn't scramble because this whole side here, as you can see, we're very rigid over here. So it's a complicated mechanism, but you can see I'm not really scrambling it as I'm turning this. Here, I am scrambling it as I'm turning it. In terms of how it is, like I say, it's a little rigid. I would say probably close to as rigid as this. Now I'm told that he has another version coming out that might move even more freely than the other one. But in any case, you can see the size difference. This is more portable. Like I say, the turning qualities, from what I can see so far, is, I was going to say about the same, maybe a little bit easier with this guy over here. I think this one has had time to be broken in, so this moves pretty well here. These tips are, of course, a little rigid. To be honest with you, I hadn't really planned to do a lot of scrambling and solving of this just because of the rigidity. This one I'm more apt to do. but I think I may want to break it in a little bit more as well. This is a Megaminx experience, I think. As you turn it around over here or over here. So really, when you look at it, I see 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, so it must be more like a Megaminx where this is the center over here. Megaminx that has centers that turn. Anyway, so there you have it. So for those who've wanted to own a Dogic but didn't want to pay a lot of money, this is a great way to get a puzzle with pretty much similar quality, but much more affordable. So that's exactly what I would hope for puzzlers, and that for me it's not about the rarity of a vintage puzzle and buying a 3x3 for $1,000 just because Erno Rubik actually held it in his hands. It's more about just getting a 3x3 at any cost, well, at an affordable cost, so that I can have it as part of my collection, so I can experience this whole experience with that. Anyway, I hope to see more of Michael's work in the future. Thanks for watching.